Our top story this morning: for the third time since the Florida high school shooting that occurred on Valentine's Day, Missoulians hit the streets to march against gun violence in schools. On Saturday, a mixture of adults and children gathered at the X's in downtown Missoula to join in the National March for Our Lives. They marched to Karas Park, where several speakers addressed the crowd. This audio from our friends, our news partners at NBC Montana.
The mass shootings in schools isn't a tragic occurrence, it's a tragic recurrence. And if we don't do anything, it's just going to keep on happening. Every other week or every week, there's going to be another school shooting, which should not be the normality in this country. And that's why we're protesting.
I'm just really passionate about human rights, and everyone being safe is part of human rights.
We're here to show support for the survivors of previous shootings and to help prevent ones in the future.
Yeah, I don't know how else to say it, but it's one thing to be positive, it's another thing to not act on anything.
Head-dueling rallies were held in Montana's capital city by gun control and gun rights advocates. At Helena's gun control rally, two teen sisters who helped organize the protest said they felt hope for the first time after the Parkland, Florida school shooting. Survivors advocated for change. 17-year-old Mariah Thomas said that finally someone was doing something about gun violence, and it was students her own age. Outside the Capitol, a smaller crowd of gun rights advocates swore that no outsiders would dictate gun control in Montana. One speaker, Montana State University student Joey Chester, drew boos when he mentioned the other protest happening across town. He said if something went wrong there, their first people to show up would be people with guns. In a related story, while Missoula County Public Schools are now gun-free zones, it wasn't always that way. Missoulian Dave Strom was in high school back in the mid-1950s, and he remembers going to the rifle range located inside the school.
The Hellgate building was Missoula County High School. That's all there was. I haven't been in there to see if they've changed that rifle range. It would have been there in 55, 56. It ran from the east to the west. The bullet trap was down on the west end of the thing. You could barely hear it in other parts of the building because that's very well constructed. It was an NRA sanctioned thing. They were the ones that handled all the competition. They supplied the targets, the target rifles, the ammunition. Everything was NRA sanctioned because this was competitive shooting. And they wanted you to learn the right way with the right equipment. First day we opened it up and they were going to start shooting, I brought my own weapon over there, which was a Winchester pump.
Oh, I apologize. Swallowed down the wrong pipe there for a moment. So let me just continue if I can here. Strom said he was laughed out for bringing his Winchester to the range. He was given a .22 long rifle instead. Images of rifle clubs from the local yearbook, The Bitterroot, show clear evidence of rifles in the school. It was unclear what happened to the rifle range, but it was likely converted into either a locker room or a kitchen and dining area. A man on trial for the rape of a teenager cursed at jurors and called them stupid after they handed down their guilty verdict in a Billings courtroom. The jury found 35-year-old Marcial Maija Jr. guilty on Friday of sexual intercourse without consent. The Billings Gazette reports that after the jury was polled, the former U.S. Army supply sergeant yelled a string of expletives at the jurors. A sheriff's deputy then handcuffed Maija, and Judge Rod Souza told him to calm down. Defense attorney Penelope Strong called Maija's outburst an accident and said he had significant mental health problems as a combat veteran. She asked for him to be released on bond pending his June 14th sentencing. The judge denied that request. It was another slow week when it comes to criminal prosecutions in Missoula. According to Deputy County Attorney Jason Marks, the number of cases barely hit double digits.
We filed 11 new felony cases this past week, 5 of them being drug cases, and then a mixture of domestic violence, robbery, felony DUI.
Missoula often has more than 20 cases opening per week. Most of the felony cases this past week, though, involved drugs or alcohol, which happen to be some of the fastest cases to process.
A simple drug possession case is pretty straightforward and doesn't require a huge time commitment, probably several hours spread out over the course of the case versus, say, a homicide case, which is extremely demanding in terms of time we have to put in, weeks.
With a bit of extra time saved from new cases, the county attorney's office will be able to focus on preparing for some of the bigger trials coming in the near future. Missoula police received a call Thursday morning from a probation officer who needed some assistance at a business in the 2200 block of Reserve. The probation officer recognized a vehicle parked outside and asked police to help locate the vehicle's owner. Police Public Information Officer Travis Welsh has more.
The officer met with the probation officers that went inside. They did find the person, identified her as 53-year-old Brenda Patterson. Ms. Patterson was informed that being in the business was a violation of probation. They then searched her vehicle where they located drug paraphernalia. They found what appeared to be a pipe used for ingesting narcotics, and they also found the substance that turned out to be meth.
Patterson had been released from the Missoula County Jail on Friday. And the Missoula County Fairgrounds hosts over 500 events every year, not counting events at the Glacier Ice Rink. The staff and management have been providing these services at a facility that desperately needs improvement and upgrades, according to Missoula County Commissioner Colaroli.
The commercial and culinary buildings don't have foundations, and they're about ready to fall down. And so we have to actually jack those buildings up and put foundations under them and do an entire historic renovation. We're putting in utilities. People don't know as well that there's a bunch of septic systems on the fairgrounds. We don't really even know where all the waste is going. So we're bringing in proper sewer, water. We're burying overhead utilities.
Rowley said there are technical finance issues at play to fund the improvements to the fairgrounds.
What was proposed is for us to create a special district at the fairgrounds, where the fairgrounds itself, no other surrounding residential property or anything like that, would be encompassed within a special district. That way, we could use the special district to centralize the revenue of the mill levies that we're already levying for the fair, to spend out to receive financing from banks, get loans, and finance phase 1 of the redevelopment of the fairgrounds.
Newstalk time, 6:12.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station. Mostly cloudy skies today with high temperatures in the mid-40s. A slight chance of rain and snow this afternoon. Overnight tonight, low temperatures will be right around the freezing mark. A wintry mix of rain and snow is expected Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for Missoula's KECI 13.